Welcome back, guys, to DYLG, your number one informative podcast. These are your girls, Delilah, Julemi, Leslie, and Genesis. We have prepared an amazing content for today, and because it's always a great day to be informed, we brought a very important topic to you: natural disasters. With that being said, fasten your belts because this is about to go crazy.
What is natural disaster? And it is basically a major adverse event resulting from natural processes of the earth. Examples are floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, volcanic eruptions, earthquake, tsunamis, and other geological processes. A natural disaster can cause loss of life or damage property and typically leave some economic damage. I want also to show you some of the causes of natural disaster. And natural disasters are caused by natural forces such as earthquake, volcanic eruption, hurricanes, fires, tornadoes, and extreme temperatures. They can be classified as rapid as onset disasters such as earthquake or tsunami.
So, as you know, every natural disaster has consequences, and I'll mention two of them. The first one that I'll mention is humanitarian crisis. Climate change and accompanying natural disaster have created a large migrant population called climate refugees or environmental migrants. These people can be being forced out of their homes by an abrupt natural disaster like a tsunami or a slower moving natural disaster like a relentless drought. In any case, the area where they formerly lived is no longer habitable for one reason or another. And the second one is public health issues. Health issues are one of the most present problems after any natural disaster. It is often the case that facilities for water and toilet hygiene are damaged or inoperable, meaning that the safe disposal of human waste quickly becomes a public health hazard. During and after events like hurricanes or floods, standing water can be a breeding ground for pathogenic bacteria and disease vectors like mosquitoes. In cases where transportation capabilities and infrastructure are damaged, survivors of natural disaster can be cut off from life-saving medications for both acute and chronic conditions.
To you guys, hydrological disasters is a violent, sharp, and harmful amendment either in quality of Earth's water or in distribution or movement of water ashore below the surface or in atmosphere. In this category we have floods, tsunamis, and limnic eruptions. A flood is an overflow of water on land, but it is not a flood without a beaver dam. Sometimes a water resource, a river, lake, or pond, gets flushed with too much water, and usually heavy rain sometimes causes floods. When there is too much water, it may overflow beyond its normal limits. This water then spreads over land, flooding it. Extreme flooding can also be caused by a tsunami or a large storm that causes a storm surge. Floods that happen quickly are called flash floods. The most deadly flooding was in 1931 in China and killed between 2 million and 4 million of people. The Kerala flood in India was another flood that has destroyed people's houses. The Nice flood of 1993 was one among the foremost pricey floods in U.S. history. The 1998 Cheng floods in China left 14 million individuals homeless. The 2000 African nation flood lined a lot of the country for 3 weeks, leading to thousands of deaths, and feed the country blasted for years afterwards. During a flood, people try to move themselves to their most precious belongings to higher ground quickly. The process of leaving homes in search of a safe place is called evacuation. Tsunami, also known as a seismic sea wave or as a tidal wave, is a series of waves in a water body caused by the displacement of a large volume of water, generally in an ocean or a large lake. Tsunamis are often caused by a subsurface earthquakes like the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake or by landslide like the one that occurred at Lituya Bay, Alaska. The 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake created a Boxing Day moving ridge. The earthquake was the third largest ever recorded and had the longest duration of faulting ever observed, between 8 and 10 minutes. It caused the planets to vibrate as much as 10 millimeters, 0.4 inches, and it remotely triggered earthquakes as far away as Alaska. On March 11, 2011, a moving ridge occurred close to Fukushima, Japan, and unfolded through the Pacific. Limnect eruptions happens once a gas, typically greenhouse emission, suddenly erupts from deep lake water, setting the threat of suffocative life, placental mammal, and humans. Such associate eruptions. To you guys, hydrological disasters is a violent, sharp, and harmful amendment either in quality of Earth's water or in distribution or movement of water ashore below the surface or in atmosphere. In this category we have floods, tsunamis, and limnect eruptions. A flood is an overflow of water on land, but it is not a flood without a beaver dam. Sometimes a water resource, a river, lake, or pond, gets flushed with too much water, and usually heavy rain sometimes causes floods. When there is too much water, it may overflow beyond its normal limits. This water then spreads over land, flooding it. Extreme flooding can also be caused by a tsunami or a large storm that causes a storm surge. Floods that happen quickly are called flash floods. The most deadly flooding was in 1931 in China and killed between 2 million and 4 million of people. The Kerala flood in India was another flood that has destroyed people's houses. The Nice flood of 1993 was one among the foremost pricey floods in U.S. history. The 1998 Cheng floods in China left 14 million individuals homeless. The 2000 African nation flood lined a lot of the country for 3 weeks, leading to thousands of deaths, and feed the country lasted for years afterwards. During a flood, people try to move themselves to their most precious belongings to higher ground quickly. The process of leaving homes in search of a safe place is called evacuation. Tsunami, also known as a seismic sea wave or as a tidal wave, is a series of waves in a water body caused by the displacement of a large volume of water, generally in an ocean or a large lake. Tsunamis are often caused by a subsurface earthquakes like the 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake.
Hailstorms are precipitation in the form of ice, with the ice not melting before it hits the ground. Hailstorms usually measure between 0.2 inches 5 millimeters and 6 inches 15 millimeters in diameter. A particularly damaging hailstorm hit Nunchi, Germany on July 12, 1984, causing about 12 billion in insurance claims. Tornadoes is a violent and dangerous rotating column of air that is in the contact with both the surface and the earth. It is base of a column's cloud. It is race case. It is also referred to as twister or cyclone, although the word cyclone it is used in meteorology in weather.
Earthquake. An earthquake is the result of the sudden release of energy in the earth crust that creates seismic wave. At the earth's surface, earthquake manifests themselves by vibration, shaking, and sometimes displacement of the ground. Earthquakes are caused by the slippage within geological faults. The underground point of origin of the earthquake is called the seismic focus. The point directly above the focus on the surface is called the epicenter. Earthquakes by themselves rarely kill people or wildlife. It's usually the secondary event that they trigger, such as building collapses, fires, tsunamis, and volcanoes. Many of these could possibly be avoided by better constructions, safety system, early warning, and planning.
On July 6, 2019, California governor declares a state of emergency after the second earthquake. Crews in California continue to assess damage to cracked and burned buildings, broken roads, leaking water and gas lines, and other infrastructure on Saturday after the largest earthquake the region has seen in nearly 20 years was felt from Sacramento, Mexico. The governor, Gavin Newsom, declared a state of emergency and warned residents to be wary of new tremors after the southern part of the state was hit by a second significant earthquake in as many days. Newsom also requests a presidential emergency declaration, which would unlock federal funds for the support of communities affected. Updating reporters later on Saturday, Newsom said the quakes were wake-up call for the state and other parts of the United States. Experts warned that Southern California could expect more significant shake in the near future. There is about a 1 in 10 chance that another 7.0 quake could hit within the next week, and the chance of a 5.0 magnitude quake is approaching certain. Lucy Jones, a semiologist at California Institute of Technology and former science advisor at the USA Geological Survey. She added that the new quake probably ruptured along about 25 miles of fault line and was part of a continuing sequence.
Geological disasters, avalanche, and landslide. A landslide is described as an outward and downward slope movement of an abundance of slow forming material that include rock, soil, artificial, or even a combination of these things. During World War I, an estimated 40,000 to 80,000 soldiers died as a result of avalanche during the mountain camping in the Alps at the Australian and Iranian fronts. Many of the avalanches were caused by artillery fire. Sinkholes. When natural eruption, human mining, or underground excavation made the ground too weak to support the structure building on it, the ground can collapse and produce sinkholes. For example, the 2010 Guatemala City sinkholes, which killed 15 people, was caused when heavy rain from tropical storm Gata, diverted by leaky pipes into a pumice bedrock, led to the sudden collapse of the ground beneath a factory building. Volcanic eruptions. Volcanoes can cause widespread destruction and consequent disaster in several ways. The effects include the volcanic eruption itself, that many cults are followed the explosion of the volcano or falling rock. Secondly, Lava may be produced during the eruption of a volcano, and so, as its leaves the volcano, the lava destroys many buildings, plants, and animals due to its extreme heat. Thirdly, volcanic acts, generally meaning the cool ash, many from a cool and safely trickling and nearby location. When mixed with water, this forms a concrete-like material. Its sufficient quality asks many cause roof to collapse under its weight, but even a small quality will harm human if inhaled.